Hey, happy Thursday. One of my favorite days of the week. Got to sleep in, day off. Oh my goodness. A day off for an NFL reporter is get to sleep in a little bit, but the news never stops. Lions made roster news. Bad day to be a former Detroit Lions safety. Tracy Walker, CD Deuce. They're in the news, unfortunately, for things that are not the best. My goodness. Going to spend probably the next hour with you guys, recapping the day's news, everything going on. Yes, took care of myself this morning. Haircut, shave. Now I'm after it. Feel energized, ready to go, answer your questions. Like, subscribe, hit the comments. Any questions at all, hit the super chat. You go right to the front of the line. New day, new news. End of this talk, we'll talk about unfortunate news for Tracy Walker and potentially CJ Gardner-Johnson. What am I expecting from the Falcons game? What are you expecting from the Falcons game? That's something I want to hit on over the next hour or so. Thank you guys for hopping in early. Get those questions in. We'll have a talk. Hey-o, welcome. Oily Ole. First time for me catching the doc live. It means a lot to me that you guys acknowledge that. It means a lot. It's nice. It's nice. It's just nice. It's motivating to do this every single day and have people type in your name when you go live and don't say, hey, stop doing this. Cody gets in. Thanks, Doc, for the updates. Listening while working. And it means a lot. Thank you. It's fun to be part of the Detroit sports community. Hey, got an early review on the look. VRP6275. Love the look, Doc. The professional Doc. Yeah, I've been taking a lot of meetings and feeling like I've been going scruffy. And you don't want to take these meetings and present yourself that way. But, tighten up a little bit. But I feel like the clean-shaven look probably is the best look, being that these high-ranking individuals want to talk to me, sharing them all my knowledge over the last 20 years, last 10 and specifically. 10 years. Now you guys want to know about podcasting? It's a little late. Now you want to know? You should have listened. I was telling you guys, podcasting is the wave of the future. Now you want to know? Yeah, you want to know. And who's got the knowledge? This guy. Happy, blessed. Sean Redman. I was watching yesterday's show about the sloppy offense when I got the alert you were live. Finally got you live. Listen, it's great. It's great that at times the blessing of on-demand content is you can just come to the page and check it out. There's a lot of content. I shared with someone online just recently. I had Amik Robertson on this very platform for an hour. Go watch it. It's on this platform. Detroit Lions on SI. This channel. Hoping to do more. But schedule's got to line up, and I'm not patient to try and schedule 3, 4, 5, 6 different times. I'm more like, hey, can they come on at Thursday at noon? Yeah. Well, how about 1? How about 2? How about 4? It's like, oh, man, I'm a busy man. I can't maneuver 9 things. So I'm going to give a one-time kind of thing. So it's always been difficult, but I want to do more. I have the access. The players definitely, I think, want to talk to me. It's just hard to line up the schedule because I do a lot of different things in sports and outside of sports too. Busy man, working with high-profile athletes, working with the clients that I have. It's great. The doc is enjoying his mid-40s and putting together everything to get after it. What am I going to talk about? There's a new signing. There's some position battles that are really competitive that I'm really excited to check in on this weekend. Friday, there's a game. There's more work to do. There's more work with the Detroit Lions. So I'm getting after it. And the Lions don't sleep. They make their moves. Brad Holmes always working, always cooking. So we'll talk about it. My guy Christian, always shout out him. He's doing great work, getting after it, putting out content so that I can record live and helping edit the site and being a tremendous asset for the last 5 years. Shout out him, Vito, Emmett. Our team is great. Strong team. And as long as the lights are on at Lions on SI, those guys, big part of the operation. Show them love too. Hit the likes. Let's go. Here we go. Lions. They really are appreciative and like the UFL. They like the tape. It tells them something. It tells them something. Dan Campbell was asked by a reporter, do you think the UFL should be a feeder system for the NFL? And he said, well, no one really cares about my opinion on that, but we respect and we know that if someone puts something on tape, we can see it. We can see how players act in certain situations on film, and the UFL provides that. Sean, good way to spend my lunch break. Absolutely. Thank you. So the Lions signed a new tight end. They're signing him. Probably soon today, they'll ink the deal. I'll tell you all about him from what Christian wrote as well. I peeked at it just before. You look at it and you say, okay, what does that mean? More competition. What does that mean for Kenny Yeboah? What does that mean for Shane Zylstra? They were doing okay. Feels like there's more competition needed. So let's take a peek here at what this individual brings to the table. Lions signing former San Antonio Brahmas tight end Steven Stillanos. Good here. I can zoom it in for you guys too. Competitive room with Shane Zylstra, Zach Horton, and Kenny Yeboah. In the spring, Stillanos played 9 games, caught 15 passes for 86 yards and a touchdown. Also, big bonus, college teammates with standout Sam Laporta. So they like his tape. Dan Campbell always looking. And there you go. What do they like? Emerged as a blocking tight end for the Hawkeyes. Hey, what have the Lions been struggling at? On tape. They're telling you, we ain't running the ball well. Tight yardage situation. They had a practice specifically aimed at short yardage situation. Couldn't move the ball. Block or don't be here. And Christian, like I said, underrated, humble guy. I won't let him be that humble for that long. He's really talented. I wouldn't have him stay for 5 years if he wasn't talented. He knows the game, knows the film, knows the journalistic standards. He's the journalistic standards and practices of our operation. He slaps my wrist. Doc, that's not journalistically credible. And I'm like, so what? Fine, Christian. No more notes. We will stick to your rules. The funny part is I'm the boss. But there's some rules. I still don't know any of them. I know this rule. Be passionate, be entertaining, get after it. The rest will figure itself out. His ability to contribute in the run game as a blocker could make him valuable. There it is. He's competing. So you sign a tight end. It's fair. Not a bad situation. Not a bad addition. UFL is a place the Lions are looking, and I'm okay with that. I like competition. What does that mean for Zylstra and Yeboah? Better get after it. Staying vision. Much appreciated. No, thank you guys for motivating me to do this. Thanks for the good content, Doc. Thank you guys. It's motivating. It's humbling across 2 platforms, X, YouTube, to have a growing community. I think that clearly the Lions looked at the offense and what they were able to accomplish this week and said, we got to tinker a little bit. Tinker. You have to. Always looking to bring talent in. Is there a free agent out there that you guys, I know it's Darius Smith, Matthew Judon. I know you guys are looking heavily on defense. We are going to probably tomorrow, Lions on SI, best free agent at every position. We'll look at some of those things. New UFL tight end competing for a job. Now, as we move forward throughout camp, there are battles that are emerging that are really competitive that we don't have answers yet. The starters are pretty much locked in. There aren't going to be too many guys. And Brett Holmes said it. Part of the difficulty is this is now filling out depth spots. The starters are the starters. It's going to be tough to unlock the starting 11 on defense. That thing is pretty much locked. It's going to be pretty much impossible. Maybe tight end 3, wide receiver 3, 4 for Tesla. But it's going to be impossible for someone to crack the starting lineup. We're talking Tesla, maybe boots out Tim Patrick if he doesn't step it into gear and get after it a little bit better. His camp has been, according to him, not the best. But I do think he'll step it up. But there are competitive battles at depth spot that are key. And I have concerns at certain spots. Most notably, tackle. Justin Herron's been brought in. Dan Skipper, Giovanni Manu. You need work. The guard spot's a little bit more reliable. Moody, Coyote Awasika, Kobe Sorsdahl battling. So the tackle spot is one in which you're light. Something happens to Sewell and Decker, big trouble for the Lions offense. But the position that is, and what do you guys think? First of all, let's ask you guys, what do you like about the Lions roster? Where are you comfortable? Where are you not comfortable? Where do you feel a sense of solace? Like, okay, most people are going to say, I'm concerned about backup, concerned about the tackles, concerned about maybe linebackers. Very fair, all of those. Before I get to these competitive battles, let me clean up some questions here and comments. DM5, no beard? I shave mine too every now and then. Yeah, listen, man, my days are filled. And most people know, I mean, you work in the NFL. They know my just crazy demanding schedule. Half the day in the NFL, half the day in the practice, half the day going to different places and consulting. The man likes to work, and now is my time. My mid-40s, I finally put it together. Wisdom, experience, knowledge, and drive. And now I'm going full speed ahead. Oily Ole, how are you feeling about Ennis Rakestraw's future with the Lions? Like everybody else, you're concerned. Can he stay healthy? That's now on his record. Year 2 basically is a wash. You hope that when he comes back that he can get after it. But 2 full years of not being out there on the field developing, he's going to be behind others, and it makes the Lions have to go out there and get somebody else. They're going to have to draft somebody, a free agent. They're going to have to continue their development. Amik Robertson has to come back. Makes him a priority. Yeah, absolutely. See? Cornerback. We have one good corner in a man-heavy scheme. I disagree. I think that DJ Reed and Amik Robertson are 2 guys that you can like. Rocky Sin's a good role player. So I disagree with that comment, see? I think that they have enough. Depth-wise, now you're talking about concern. David gets in. Are our left tackles bad, or is Hutch just extremely good? It's a combination. It's not bad. It's just Hutch is better than Giovanni Manu, clearly. Has all the moves, repertoire to get after it. And Kelvin Shepard is exposing the offensive line with gaps and miscommunications by bringing so much pressure creatively, exotically. So it's a combination of things. It's an offensive line still working without one of their key pieces, and they have young guys, Tate Ratledge and Christian Mahogany. While they're playing great overall, there are times in between you can create some openings, and when sometimes a blocking scheme just puts a position where there's an opening where a blitzing guy can get in there. So it's a combination. And yes, Hutch is extremely good. It's not fair, but baptism by fire, this is going to help Manu. Getting baptized by Aiden will help him. Absolutely. DM5, are you worried about the offense at all, considering a slower start and defense shining so far in camp? Yeah, it's concerning that you want them to step it up, but I think they will. I'm not concerned. I think the full time to be concerned is if it looks like this after the first 4 games of the season. There's too much talent. And remember, Taylor Decker's not there. You don't have the full collection yet of your offense. But yeah, the last couple practices haven't been good. So John Morton's got to come up with these answers. So the level of concern, I think I said, was a 3 or 4. It went up to like 4.5 after another bad practice. Now you have to, next week, show it against the Dolphins that, hey, you can do some things. I want to see the Lions offense against the Dolphins defense. I can't wait. Me and AP, my guy, my colleague with the Dolphins, he's coming into town, so I want to see what he wants to look at first. Be like, look, man, I want to look at the offense. And if he says, hey, no, I'm looking at the offense, I want to look at your guys is J-Mo and Amon-Ra against our defense. I'll be like, I'll step down. I'll be like, you want to bet? You want to flip for it? But I defer to the veteran journalist, my guy AP. What's your YouTube page? The one that I think, if you're watching this on X, or it's Detroit Lions. Next word, O_N_SI. Detroit Lions on SI. Guys, help them out. Drop a link in the comments, and I will too after the stream. Detroit Lions on SI. I've if you're on our X page, you can scroll down. I've linked to it as well. But guys, help them out. Be a friend of the chat. Once in a while, drop a link to where people can subscribe, and I will too. Doc, what the heck happened to your face? I got to be professional at times, guys. A lot of important meetings coming up. Many meetings. It's amazing. It's amazing, and I think people are understanding. The DOC has some information in his knowledge base to share across different platforms, sports and psychology. I've blended them deeply to weave out a beautiful career for myself. Self-controlled, self-made with the help of a lot of people. John Morton wants deeper passing concepts combined with the weaker O-line. Sounds like a potential disaster. He will bread and butter understand the run game importance. Don't worry. He's not neglecting Montgomery and Gibbs. Don't worry. But practice is to practice something you haven't done before. This is why you practice. But you have to also execute. This is the NFL. You practice, you play how you practice. Jay Hart, Babyface Doc has arrived. Yeah, I got to keep it professional a little bit more. Listen, a lot of it is it's up to my doing. I can control it, you know what I mean? You got to be professional. I always feel like, you get dolled up and look nice when you go to these meetings, but if you're doing more and more videos and more podcasts, you got to look the part. And plus I feel like it's just a change of vibe too for the Tigers. I'm a superstitious guy. The Tigers have been stinking lately. And I went on an interview and I told the Tigers reporter, I said, let's just change it up a little bit, change up the flow so the Tigers can win some games. Looks 10 years younger. Look at that. We're going to spend some time talking about my appearance. Who's this? This is the professional doc, the doc taking the meetings. This is the DOC. This is Mr. John McAroon. Booner. You got a standing invitation for all you can eat pizza with pineapple. All day, every day. On me. Never get that. Doc buy someone lunch. Hawaiian, baby. Yeah, so look, I've been taking meetings, a lot of consulting, a lot of fun times in my situation. So I got to look the part. I mean, I can't just be scruffy all the time. You know what? I also thought about that too. Dan Gamble. This is the last thing, guys. This is funny. Doc, you should embrace the baldness and grow a stash and complete the Iron Sheik look. Now that's funny. That's funny. I thought about it because my hair was growing out like this. It grows out funny. It doesn't grow up top anymore. It grows out like this. So I thought about what happened if I just let it grow. What would that look like? What would it look like if I wanted the Fu Manchu. I told my guy Adam on the Doc and Jock podcast. It should come. I want to look like Saad Khan. I want that look, but I'm not getting the curl up part. But it's coming. I think the Lions media room and the Lions need to have a Saad Khan looking mofo out there asking questions. Look up Google Saad Khan. That's maybe the 2026 look for the Doc. If I'm still blessed to do this, if I choose to do this. A lot of people are asking for my attention. I got 2-3 jobs. I don't know if I can handle 3-4 more. Oh, I can, but it's fun to at least have people interested. That's all I've ever asked for. All right. Thank you guys for the review. We'll keep it for a while. We'll see. Like I said, the schedule is busy and shaving is the last priority for the DOC. All right. The 3 position battles. And you tell me, you guys understood the tackle position? The 3 spots I got question marks still. Center. I don't have an answer behind Graham Glasgow. Look, Tate Ratledge is going to be developing. He will probably be the center of the future. But 2025, you have players that are battling for more spots. I think the leader is Tristan Colon. I think after this game, you'll start to get more information. The first week I did the stake, all the good players, JMO, St. Brown, Goff. Second week was evaluation and some more of a feature that I'm doing, putting together some information about something going on inside the Lions facility. So that took time. Now the next week will be probably learning about the stories of some of the depth battles. Michael Neese, Tristan Colon, who's been taking a lot of the second team reps. Tristan Colon, the new guy from Arizona. I think he'll be probably the backup. And Kingsley Egwakun have been battling. I don't know who's in the lead. I think they're about equal. They're pretty good. So that means you got to ask Dan Campbell. What are you seeing? I tried to get it yesterday on Wednesday, but there were so many good questions, and I had a feeling like I'll share with you my thinking. I was like, okay, I have a question about the backup center, but I'm like, relevant wise, there's so many questions about injuries. There's questions about the game. There's questions about some stuff. I'm like, this is not the most relevant right now, but that question's coming. What are you seeing? And someone else might ask it. The blessing is when there's a room full of smart people, the stuff that you think, half the people are thinking it as well. Backup center, we got to know about it. Now that you added a new tight end, who's the third tight end? Is it this new guy? Is it Yeboah? Is it Zach Horton? Yeboah, Horton, Shane Zylstra, this new guy? Now there's a competition at third tight end. So that's a battle. Who do you think is in the lead? What do you guys think? Those are competitive, not answerable yet. We got to find out. We got to find out who's going to break through, because clearly they weren't happy with the blocking last week in this last set of practices because they couldn't move the ball consistently enough running. And they probably, based on this signing, said, we need someone that can block. Please, can you block? Our run game is getting stuffed because Aiden is messing up our practice. The defensive ends are winning the battles. Guys, it's football. It's not rocket science. They brought in a blocking tight end. What do you think they need? Figure out the run game. It wasn't good this week. And then finally, very competitive, which I've said is the safety spot. My goodness, Maurice Norris, Ian Kennelly, Lauren Strickland, Avonte Maddox, Rock Ya-Sin getting some reps there. Him getting reps there is really indicative of just additional training just in case something happens to Maddox. You now know Avonte Maddox is probably going to make the team. Dan Jackson, unfortunately, gets hurt. That stinks for his development. But next man up. I think Kennelly and Avonte Maddox provide two different things that make it fun for the safeties. Those are the three biggest competitive spots. Backup center, third tight end, safeties. Competitive position battles. So those are things I want to see. Afternoon to you, Attila the Hun. Appreciate you. Juan.com Gaming. You interested in supporting? I'm a gambler. Semi-pro poker player. Winning gambler. Juan.com Gaming. Is that a metaphor? Is that the big man upstairs? You want your logo right above here? Hey, drop your info in the comments. I'll hit you up. Always looking for, I've accomplished every goal on this podcast except for one. And I'm being selective. I've had offers. I want someone to sponsor the studio. This is Doc coming from the Juan.com Gaming Studios. That sounds funny, but it's unique. Juan.com. I don't even know if it's legal. I don't know the offshore realistic gaming market. I've avoided the gaming dollars. They've been offered. I'm like, listen, so if you guys think Doc's greedy, I'm not. I've turned down stuff. I'm good. I'm just looking for the right person where every day I fire it up, or once a week when the season starts. Of course, I'm not going to talk Lions live every single day, but there'll be a time, and we'll negotiate between us here in the chat and a time every week where hey, that's our time with the Doc. We'll schedule it. Well, it'd be Thursday is my favorite day of the week. Tuesday's a little bit slower, so we can plan a time. I will ask you, the audience, when should I go live once or twice a week, and you will have me locked in, guaranteed. That's your time. Get at the Doc. Make fun of the Doc. Complain about his takes. Complain he likes pineapples on his pizza. Sorry, guys, you're on the 50% that don't like it. You're on the wrong side of history. The 50% that do are enjoying it. Juan.com Gaming. What a unique name. Which group is more reliable, the skill positions or secondary? Oh, right now the secondary is playing great. They're consistently, the best way to put it is consistently having good days, and that's the DBs. JMO had some drops. St. Brown had some drops. Goff's having difficulty connecting with the new deep passing concepts, but it could turn around. Doc, they say you only turn down the volume, nothing else. I don't know what that means, but you can fill me in. Broski, Lions are the greatest team ever. Good team, man. I've had talks with some of the fans. I still see 10 wins, even though there's challenges. This is training camp. What do you guys think is the biggest area of concern on this roster? I looked at the competitive position battles. Do you think that they have to make another move? Defensive end, left tackle. Friday. What are you guys looking forward to on Friday evening? It's interesting. The Lions are going to play the Falcons, which was funny because the last week's game was on Thursday. I said on multiple broadcasts, I can't wait for Thursday's game. Holy cow, man. You guys are blowing up my phone about this pineapple take. We'll share it at the end. Well, I mean, I knew it's controversial. That's why I brought it up on the fine Crunch Time program. But you're not allowed to judge. You just react. That's it. We'll have fun at the end. Got 20 minutes left or so. Any super chat, front of the line. What are you guys watching for Friday? What do you want to see? I think clearly Friday night, 8 o'clock, I'm conflicted. I'm not going to Atlanta. I would get in trouble because I would find my way to the Magic City. I'd be like, do I go to Mercedes-Benz or Magic City? To me, it's equal because I like chicken wings. Clearly, and nothing else. Mercedes, like I could almost imagine it. I'm driving into Atlanta, and the Mercedes-Benz is on the left, Magic City's on the right, and the doc is met with his temptations: work for your job, or eat and have fun and be entertained. Both equally great decisions. I love to work. I love chicken wings. I like music and DJs. Man, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me might think about turning to the right. I've watched 1,000 Lions games. I've written 1,000 Lions columns. But, end up, I'm still on the right side. I probably would figure out a way to do both. Maybe, okay, I'll do the temptation. Like, maybe I'll go to there for a quarter, and then I'll go to the game in the second quarter. I'll be calling up the Lions. Hey, when's the latest I'm allowed to come in? Am I allowed to come in just for the locker room? Be like, why are you asking me, John? I just want to know, like, when's the latest? Be like, John stopped coming to the game. He just shows up in the locker room. Start showing up for work at 4 o'clock. But I make the schedule. I watch the game. It's on demand. But no. What I want to see first and foremost is, and for those of you that are still hung up on me shaving, I told Easy I was going to do it. Got to change up the flow. The Tigers are losing. I'm superstitious. They ain't winning. Let's change it up. You got to get a clean look. You got to mix it up every once in a while. And Easy, I'm going to look like Saad Khan for a period of time in my life. Look it up. Keys to watch when the Lions play the Falcons. First and foremost, I think a key that everybody's paying attention to is Hendon Hooker with the twos. He's got to get after it. He's got to showcase that he's a player that has any semblance of an ability to be the backup. That first performance, when you rated a 0, that puts you on notice that you got to have a better week. And the second team offense didn't do all that great in the situational period at practice. So for Hendon Hooker, I think he's one of the pieces and one of the players that everybody's going to be watching. You're starting the game. You're going to have a little bit better talent around you. So get after it. But you're now facing better talent. So for Hendon Hooker, now's the time. Like, this is one of those deals where, yeah, the organization trusts you. Yeah, the general manager has a tie to your family. But this is the NFL. You don't get a free ride. You don't get a chance to just earn a spot on the roster by playing bad. You got to move the football, first downs, get these guys moving where they need to be, get the motion set, get your calls in order, look proficient. You didn't do that the first opportunity you had. That was brutal. The basics of doing your job, he didn't do. Now, the Lions tried to make a couple excuses, saying he was in a bad spot, the team was losing. No excuses. You still were facing opposition that's not as good. So, yeah, your teammates might not be guys that are on the roster, but you're also facing guys that are not going to be on the NFL. So you're expected to do some things. So step it up. This is not the excuse station. It's an NFL, not for long. And Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have shown in the past that if you have a bad training camp, both Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker's jobs are in jeopardy. So that's the biggest key to watch. And then you want to see some growth and development from Tesla, Ahmed Hassani, from some of the defensive ends that are working, Mitchell Agude. You want to see these guys, Nate Lynn, you want to see these guys get after it. And the key is to play better defensively across the second team unit. And both second and third team offensive linemen have to get after it because you're not going to see a lot of starters. Let's go. Clean Shave Nation. Let's go, Syndicate. Shout out to the Syndicate. If you don't like this channel, that's the guy to blame. He's the guy to blame for all the bad luck lately, the last 3 years. That guy right there. He goes to games and they lose. He went to the UFL, supported them, got 50 bobbleheads, I think legally, and then they folded. Clean shaven. You look younger, feel fresh. But shout out to the Syndicate. Nice guy. Didn't have to do that. Didn't have to prod and say, hey, didn't have to support the cause. He could have just said, let me do my own thing. That's a sign of a nice community where you reach out to somebody else and say, hey, join. The water's warm. No problem. The Syndicate's the man. He has takes, and he speaks his mind, whether you guys like it or not. So a guy like me will always respect that. Over what have it been called lately? Other than the slappies. The slappies, man, that's tough to roll with because that opinion's simple. Everything's great all the time. Everything's hopeful. Oh, they had a bad practice. They'll have a better one. Oh, okay. You can't argue with a slappy. You can't talk to a slappy. You can talk to someone that has opinions. You can say, hey, so don't be a slappy. Be real. Being a slappy is ridiculously boring if you want to have a talk with a sports fan. So, Derek, do it. Do it. And stop going to games. That's it. That's all we ask from the Lions community, from the Lions content community. Stay in the lab. Build out your lab. Build like 3-4 TVs. Build that maybe when you get to 100,000, you can build that immersive screen in your room where you can feel like you're there and have the projection like you're sitting in the stands. I'll help you. Just don't go to the games. Thanks, Derek. Be part of the community. Just don't show up. Because when you showed up to San Francisco, they collapsed right for you. And you went to the UFL, and now the Michigan Panthers no longer exist because of Derek. So just build your own self-inclusive stadium and have a couple nice speakers, and I'll come watch some games with you. And I'll boo Jared Goff so you can feel like you're at the game. And then I'll sing forward down the field so you get that little sense. You won't miss out on anything, I promise. But in all seriousness, nice guy, Derek. Nice guy. I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't mean it. But, I'm going to talk junk to him. So, clearly, Hendon Hooker, I'm watching that. Reserves. I want to see Kennelly and Strickland do some things. I want to see another spear. Let's go. Another big hit delivered. Pop the ball out. Make some tackles. Get after it. Get after the Falcons quarterback. Let's see what they got. What are you guys looking forward to in this contest against the Falcons? Keys to watch. You want to see some of the position battles that I just talked about. Who takes a step forward? Who steps it up? Clearly, I want to see better special teams. Want to make sure Jake Bates is on point. Jack Fox booming the football like he's always been, but special teams was not good against the Chargers. So these are the things you see in preseason games. Make sure you tighten that up. Grant Stewart, if you're tasked with being the kick returner yet again, don't fumble the ball. Get after it. Here's the bad luck too. We were joking in the media room. A writer had a chance to talk to Sione Vaki, and the headline is, Sione Vaki's ready to play. And then the next practice, he's not there. Vaki is also now going down that Ennis Rakestraw road a little bit dinged up. I hope that he can get after it and stay healthy. I want to see him develop. I want to see more Vaki. Craig Reynolds, I think, has showcased that he can sit. Meaning he's done a good job. We know what Craig Reynolds brings to the table. He should be rewarded. Not sitting by, not playing because he's a bad player, by sitting with the guys like Gibbs and Montgomery. Craig Reynolds has earned a spot. He's reliable, works hard, and gets after it. Consistently. You know what he's about. He's a Dan Campbell guy. So what more do you need to see from Craig Reynolds? He showcased what he's got. You need to see other players, the new guys, Sailors. I want to see a heavy dose of the new running back. He's a hard runner. Does he get through those creases? And you want to see the second and third team offensive line. You need to see the likes of Mason Miller step up, Colby Sorsdahl continue his growth. So those are my keys. Score points. Look like you practiced this week. Look like you thought about something. Look like you have spent operational time to put together a unit and a game plan front and back that will at least allow you to look proficient. That first game was far too sloppy. Just don't look sloppy like you have in practice. Don, we all know your comment. It makes sense. But here's the thing. At the highest level, now this is dream scenario. And of course, this is the greatest player of all time. No backup is saving the season once the starter goes down, might win you 2 games or so. Now, that's what we call normative thinking in my world. That's what the common man thinking is. But why don't we ever look at the greatest of all time, the greatest backup that stepped up and became a Hall of Famer? Now, that's a 1 in a million shot, but why not entertain that? Meaning, man, Drew Bledsoe had a huge contract at the time, similar to Goff. He goes down. Everybody's like, oh, season's over. Tom Brady comes in and steals his job. That's the mindset I want Hooker to have. Like, don't let me on that field. Right now, the mindset is, don't let me on that field. I'm going to throw an interception. Why do we always think about, and I get it, I'm forward thinking and I'm type A and I don't want to settle for nothing. But why do we always think about the average? No backup. Why not? It happened. A backup, 6th-round pick who had the worst numbers and looked like a pasty ghost in his pictures, shows up on the field, takes over a team, and becomes a Hall of Famer and is the greatest of all time. Why can't we get that? Is that something where you go, oh, it's just too crazy to think about? That's the competitive mindset I want. I want Hendon Hooker to state publicly, I'm coming for Jared's job. I'm not coming to be the backup. I want to start here or somewhere else. But he's falling in line. He's professional. He's doing the thing. But I'm a competitor. So they wouldn't add me to a team because I'd come in and be like, listen, Jared, I'm going to talk some junk here. And the media, listen, Jared, I'm going to tell you what the deal is. Coming to take your job. You can have it as long as you want. But if you put me on the field, pack your bags. You're leaving. And then I'd be up there. You put the camera in my face. I'd be like, I need to show why they put me here. I need to earn my check. I want a big check. I want to win. I want to be the best quarterback. I want to be the quarterback of the Lions. Seems like Hendon wants to be the backup of the Lions. You know, Hendon, there's 31 other teams that you can put film on for and then say, look, it's time. Trade me. I want my own team. I don't want to be a clipboard guy for Jared Goff. Now, of course he has that, but he's never going to say it publicly. Why not? It's football. We all know that. It's okay to say some unsaid things. But the competitive imbalance is wild. So you can not save the season, but at least get you to the playoffs. Maybe a Joe Flacco, Dylan, the rookie from the Browns, somebody, and I think Teddy Bridgewater would have been great. But I'm not a fan of Carson Wentz, but I like the experience. Maybe patchwork it, but you're right. In this situation, if Jared Goff goes down, based on Brad's track record of bringing in backups, the season's over. I know Joey 2 times, but we lost out to family. We lost out to the family. Lost out to comfortableness. Florida. Save some money, too. No income tax state. So, why not? Backups can. They have done it before. They become legends. And so that's the mindset is I wanted a backup to compete with Jared Goff, not to compete with Kyle Allen. I feel like Jared Goff has it easy. Big contract. It's his team. Hendon Hooker's not pushing you anywhere. I feel like Jared's got to be pushed just a little bit more. Just a little. 5% nudge. You know how you do that? Trade up and draft for Archie Manning next year. If he comes out or when his time is. That'd be something. Always got to look next. Not the guy that's going to be your backup. Draft someone that could be the starter. NFL, not for long. Why not? That's the way as a GM you have to think. Who's next? They're thinking about it. Maybe not the level of Archie Manning, but they're looking at across college. Who's the guy? Who's the guy that could come in and be the next Jared if something happens? Because it ain't Hendon. It ain't Kyle Allen. Maybe not in 26, but I have to feel like in the next 2 drafts, they select another quarterback. Ha! I didn't start it. Mr. Scott did. Tank for Archie. First loss. Scott, come back. Tank for Archie. Be asked for Archie. Nah, it's too early for that. There's still some talent. What do you know? Do you trust the Manning over a Goff? Joey 2 times. That's what we do here. We bring conversation that sparks interesting thoughts. That's the job of the doc. I think I do a good job of it. Spark some interesting discussions, thoughts that you can share around the water cooler. I wonder if I'm going to be walking next week and be like, man, do you think the Lions need Archie Manning? I just hear that in the crowd. I'll be like, oh my God, what have I done? Sling Pizza, something looks different about you, Doc. I want to see that handlebar mustache. All right. Handlebar mustache. Saad Khan, John Macaroon. I don't know if I could handle, like, I'm more shy. Like, I don't want people looking at me. Like, I'd rather just smile and just do my business, stand to the side, write about the Lions and go home. I don't want people looking at me and being like, what's that about? But I have fun with it. If it'll grow up, it might happen. I don't know if the internet world would accept me on a YouTube channel in a professional setting with a Fu Manchu, but I could rock it. I think I could rock it. Get your last questions in. 5 minutes left of my time, and then we got more content coming at Lions on SI. Putting out the podcast I did yesterday, kind of breaking down what the defense has been saying about the offense and getting after it. So more content, Lions on SI, the next 4 days, even though I'm not in Atlanta covering the game. Getting after it. Don Burr, maybe. I'm really starting to question, is Mark Brunell a good quarterback coach? Can he develop guys? It's a good question. Can the Lions develop a backup? Don, you're asking a legitimate point of criticism. Can the Lions develop a quarterback the way in which it's supposed to be done? Yet to be determined, but a very insightful point that you just made. Right now, it's not a great time to be a former Detroit Lions safety. Not a good time at all to be a Detroit Lions former safety. Tracy Walker, we don't know why yet, but the former safety that played for the Lions is suspended for 12 games. It hit the NFL transaction wire. We don't know as of yet. And you look at it and you say, man, he had promise. I thought he was a player that was growing in popularity. I thought he was a player that the locker room respected, very stand-up guy, had some game, and then he suffered a significant injury. And then he slowed down. His game was never the same. And it was unfortunate that his time in Detroit had to come to an end. But he's suspended for 12 games. And he's bounced around and hasn't had too much success since the major injury. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate for Tracy Walker. You know his story. We learned about the efforts that he made to make it to the league, the hard work that he put in. I thought he was a stand-up individual in the locker room. But as of now, he is not allowed and ineligible to play for 12 games. I thought that he had upside. Along with Kirby Joseph, I thought he was developing. I thought he was a player that, if he stayed healthy, might have had a long, bright, fruitful career here in Detroit. But, man, that injury, that's tough, especially at that spot. Your movement is key. Lateral movement, recognition, you can't slow down. And then when he came back, his play diminished. It just was out there. You could see it. He wasn't moving to the football as fast. Speed slowed down. And, unfortunately, the Lions made the decision to part ways. You hope that whatever the cause was is something that you learn from and is not significant. Thank you. New member signed up. Much appreciated. That means a lot. That means a lot to me. Join the memberships. Maybe as we continue to grow, we'll have some exclusives for those that are members. Slowly growing. Thank you. That means a lot. You guys are really, really, really humbling. It's nice that you wanted to join the Detroit Lions on SI community. Welcome. That means a lot to me. Truly, it does. Hit those comments. Be part of the community. I want to see your comments and get after it. Dan gets in. Doc, can you grill Brad about acquiring injury-prone guys and let him know as fans we're fed up with it, please? I've asked Ray, the assistant GM, hey, why did you take developmental guys when you were close? He's like, basically every young player is developmental. It's just how far they need to go to get there. So I get the sense that I'll give you the way in which I think he'll answer, but I do think that question will come to Brad, and it has in a way. No player's perfect. He'll say every player has some history of dealing with things based on the fact it's a violent sport. There's no real player that's truly healthy, but there is a question to be asked about the medical training personnel staff, and does he feel like Dan's practices are too intense? Does it need to be based on his observations, maybe scaled down? Those are fair questions. I don't get a chance to grill Brad, Dan, in that I would get one question, and then as soon as I'm done, 4 other people would not even probably let me even get a follow-up in. He would say, man, it's really tough. There's a lot of players in this league, and no real player is, based on the fact that I played, that there's no real player that's 100%. But yes, I understand availability is key. We try to look for players that are available, but you just never know. Dan has a style that we respect. That's why we've won all these games, and that's that. He'd give us a fair answer. And then I'd be like, well, and then 5 other people would talk over me. And you know who they are. They would then be like, so Brad, based on your philosophy of knowing that these players are injury prone, but you know that you've drafted so well, your 60% hit rate has really allowed this football team to get after it and win a bunch of games. What does it mean to you to have the success that you've had over? You're like, oh my God, man, get to the point. Deliver it, spit it out. We only get 10 minutes and your 180-second questions are hurting my ears. But I would love to. I wouldn't grill. We'd have a great conversation. And I kid. You know, the media room is great. We joke around, but yeah, I wish we had 15. I wish we had truly 20 minutes. The best amount of time for a coach to talk is about 20 minutes, so we can get 5 more minutes of questions in and allow for the 4 guys that want to ask 2-minute questions each to let them fire off their 3 or 4 questions. You just blink. 3 questions. Injury. Who's there? What do you think about this? Oh, 1 more. Like, oh my God. But luckily the Lions are great. They do a good job of getting after it in regards to Dan goes on a lot of podcasts. Brad does a lot of radio interviews. My last thought, Unfortunately, we might not get to see CD Deuce back in Detroit. I didn't think about that until I saw the post today. I didn't think about that. Get your last questions in. About 5 minutes left. I might go a little long. I didn't think about it. We would have had. All right, you guys do the best. That's what I love about the chat. Doc looking like a sexy thumb. Big T, new subscriber. Welcome. I want to see more of you. Hit the comments. You're absolutely right, Phil. That's a podcast. Get Ray Agnew on your podcast. Maybe. I need to ask more, but my schedule is so tight. I only have like a small window, and the Lions have a big window. Like I could say, hey, we got to do a podcast at Thursday at 1. Doc's already still talking, and then they'll be like 2. How about 3? Oh, there's automatically a change in practice. He's got something going on, and then your 15 minutes turned to 8. So I'm working on it. I got to find a good open schedule to get these guys to talk to me. And plus, they know if they come on my podcast, I'm going to be direct. Might ask them some things that they can't wiggle out of. Former Lions safety CD Deuce carted off the field at Texas. The former Lions safety, formerly known as C.J. Gardner-Johnson and CD Deuce, was carted off the field at the Texans' last practice. When I saw that, it then hit me like, oh no, he could have came to Detroit. What would he have said? He would have made news. He would have said something. I'm back here to show the Lions what they missed. I'm here to show that I'm better than Kirby. The real safety in the league has come in. He would have said something. You know it. But now that opportunity might not take place. I don't know if any further updates as I've been broadcasting, but the former safety, I thought, had an interesting year in Detroit. It wasn't a probably culture fit based on the way in which he spoke to the media. It wasn't the way that I think that the PR staff wanted to handle a player that at times would want to talk and be forthright, and other times would shut it down and just not talk anymore. And at any moment would be like, I don't like your question. And I just felt like became a little bit of a distraction. Not too much. As a media member, you like that. You like that energy and passion. But unfortunately, he got hurt. And unfortunately, his time in Detroit was short-lived. And he ended up, though, going to the Eagles, getting another fat contract after his time in Detroit. That was an Aaron Glenn signing, a Dan Campbell signing. They thought, okay, he's got talent, but that injury that he suffered early prevented him all year. But you got to give him credit. He worked his tail off to get himself back on the field. That should have been a season ender. Should have been. Full stop. You give a guy credit for the toughness that he showed. And that ski mask movement, one game that ended. Luckily, it ended. I don't think we wanted to be affiliated as Lions fans with wearing a mask. I do not think I posted anything with one on, but if I did, it might be out there. I don't know. I don't think I was fully into it. I like the concept of something unified, but it didn't work out. So for CD Deuce, probably you hope that the MRI that he conducted will produce answers that potentially will allow him to get back on the field. But he's got his ring. He wanted another opportunity to showcase what he was about. The Eagles were like, thank you for your services. Time's up. See you later. See you later, alligator. And that was that. His time was done. So not a good day to be a former Detroit Lions safety. You hope the best for Tracy Walker and for CD Deuce, but we're not going to see CD Deuce potentially at Lions joint practices the following week. Next week, the joint practices, I'll be there. I have a colleague there, so we'll get even more comprehensive look from a non-biased point of view. What will happen is there's 2 fields. It will be the Lions offense against the Dolphins defense. I'll have that look, hopefully, but he could also have it, my guy AP. And then there'll be the Lions defense against the Dolphins offense. We will have both fields covered, and we'll share the highlights of what we saw. We'll join together, and we'll share stories of how the heck he befriended a wild talking podcaster, and he's a respected journalist. It can be done. Friendships can form, and I consider him a friend, a colleague, someone you can debrief with. Nice man, truly nice man, and truly professional man. And I was trying to be the bad influence. Like, you could write about this. You could do this. He's like, unacceptable, Doc. Do not talk to me like that. Stop it. And I respect that. He's not going to the dark side of content. He is, though, doing podcasts. But do I get him to wear a mask? Do I get him to say, listen, AP, I have some Lucha Libre masks. I will pay you to do the podcast in a Lucha Libre mask, and I'll wear a sombrero. And let's talk. Pineapples on pizza. Let's be entertaining for a little bit. Let's skip the whole Lions Dolphins things. We have all day to talk about that. Let's talk what the people want to talk about. Would he ever wear a sombrero on my podcast? No. But a respected journalist who I truly respect from the bottom of my heart. All right, 3 minutes. Let me know. I'm not going to tell you what my official opinion is, but do you like pineapple on pizza? I'm hungry. I've had a good morning running around, getting everything put together for the rest of the day. Should I get a Hawaiian pizza and slap a bunch of pineapples on there? Extra, yes or no? Some of you may know the answer, but I'm not going to tell you here on this show. Pineapples on pizza. Should it go down? Is it offensive? You guys that don't like it are like, this is offensive. And it looks like it's mostly Italians. Unacceptable, offensive. It's okay, in my opinion. It's not offensive. Anchovies are offensive. Pineapple is a choice. You like it or you don't. And I'm a fan. Hawaiian, baby. And here we go. It's polarizing. Nasty from Cartier. Don Burr, I love it. What do you guys think? Pineapples on pizza? Hit me in the comments. Is it offensive? That means you just tell me you're Italian. Oh, no. Marinara and mozzarella. What are you talking about, this pineapple? What the? Listen, I'm not trying to offend you, Italians. I'm not offensive. The mozzarella. What are you talking about, Doc? It's offensive. Well, I'm sorry if I'm offensive. I like it. Anchovies smell, and they make your mouth water and make you spit out. I don't know. I get that nasty reaction when you have the anchovies. Detroit fan man, you got those anchovies on yours? Ooh. Oh my. That's the face I make when I first tried it. Like that salty thing hit my tongue. I was like, oh. That was my reaction. Doughboy Steve, I saw that. Hawaiian, baby. All day, every day. Okay, I revealed myself. I like Hawaiian. I like pineapple. I like the pineapple. Excuse-moi. Pineapple, ham, and bacon. Brent, that's why we're homies. That's why you're the man. That's why you're in my community. Pineapple, ham, and bacon. Extra hot, a little bit in the toaster oven. My goodness. Mud on. It's a win. But my favorite is sausage and onions. I mean, Hawaiian is just if you're in the mood. It's acceptable. Uh-oh. It's been a month, right? I got to figure out. I don't even know the YouTube rules. I don't even know if I'm allowed to, on my own YouTube show, drink on it. Probably. Maybe I'll wrap it up and just tell you what it is. I don't know. I don't know the rules. I do see we want to be ad friendly, that they have the symbol. There's so many of them, so I just try to be clean. Maybe I'll bottle it up in something and tell you what I'm drinking. What's your favorite topping? Let me know. I'm curious. I'm a foodie. I like food. You can tell I eat a lot of it. I got to probably, my physical is on the 17th. I got to figure out, hopefully I don't fail it. And she's going to tell me lose weight. Lose those love handles, Doc. But my time is up, guys. Thank you for enjoying the hour with me. I had fun. That's what's going on. Tomorrow, before the game, we'll also have some players to watch. Just maybe a Q&A. Check in with the community. Seems like you guys like the noonish hour between. It seems like you guys are cool between 10 and 3 at some point. Also, tell me what time, preliminarily, if I did a regular 1 or 2 hours a week talking Lions outside of the Lone Wolves podcast live, where I come on during the season, what time is best that you say, I can catch you the most? Tuesday is the NFL off day. It can be Tuesday, 2 hours. One last thought from Detroit fan man. Doc, we got an opportunity with Ahmed and Dearborn, who owns falafel, Egyptians versus Lebanese. Oh, are you trying to get me in trouble? Fan man. Ahmed in front of the media. Ahmed. True. Egyptians or Lebanese? Who are the better people? Thoughts? Shoo, Ahmed. Would your family let you date a Lebanese girl? Well, now they'd say no because I'm married. Ahmed, you know the Lebanese are known as the greatest human business people on earth. Hardest working, salt of the earth, universally rated in all polls as being the greatest ethnic group in Michigan. Broski. Yeah, of course, Cartier. That's why I'd never ask it. You'll know when Doc's getting loose and ready to retire. He's had enough when he starts hearing some questions like, Ahmed, so about the political region issues, do you think Egyptians and Lebanese can really get along in this geopolitical climate? I'm not Syrian. I'm 100% Lebanese. That's my ethnicity. My parents humbly came here, worked their tails off to provide me a great life in East Detroit, Michigan. That's where we started. And I have taken the hard work ethic and made myself a success across multiple platforms. I'm Lebanese. Habibi. I'm a Habibi with the Habibi watch. Arabic dial. I'm a Habibi. The ultimate Habibi. Nice guy. Hardworking. Is the Doc an impersonator? A bad one. Is this Doc an impersonator? No, this is the professional one. Of course, Phil. Of course we can get along. My mom's closest friends are Egyptians. I grew up with a bunch of Egyptians. I grew up with a bunch of different variety of Middle Easterns. It's just funny in terms of the heated clash at times. Did Doc ever own a gas station? No. Did Doc ever work in a gas station? Of course I did. Bring him to work. No summer for him. Bring him to stock cans. Dad, it's freezing in there. Make your $5 an hour. I don't care. Go help Saeed. Dad, you go help Saeed. You get your ass to work. Saeed will pay you $5 an hour. Do I get benefits? Saeed will give you cash. I thought cash is illegal. Shut up. You will be paid in a way that you get paid, which was cash. I was never on the record as a 16-year-old working at a gas station. I worked at restaurants, gas stations. I learned everything. My dad put my ass to work. But Saeed was cool. You get Diet Coke all you want, Habibi. Just shut up and go to work. Stock the cans. He taught me how to work. Right. $5 an hour. His family's like, this idiot. All right. Hijinks and hilarity is over. You know a little bit about the Doc. You know that the Doc does a Lone Wolves podcast, and we're trying now. The next step is to find a time, an hour or two every week to go live, to interact. I like this, but I'm not going to go live every single day. It's just, will be a staple of training camp, bring you information about the Lions on a daily basis at the most critical time. And then in the year, we'll have regular podcasts, 1 or 2 taped videos on this channel, and then podcasts that you'll find on the site. And then we'll find times where Doc will go live, take your questions. We'll have some fun. Thanks, everybody. If I didn't get to your question, please ask it in the comments. I will get to it. About 96% of the comments I'm getting back to. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. Like, subscribe, become a member. Hit those notifications so that when the Doc goes live, hits your phone, you won't miss a beat. Thank you, guys. Happy Thursday. Best day of the week.